ThinkorSwim is the most powerful free trading software on the planet. There are zero fees, there are zero commissions for trading US stocks, and it comes with all the charting and execution capabilities you would ever need. However, it is not at all intuitive. When you first open up the application, you are bombarded with hundreds of different buttons and screens and settings. It can be a real turnoff to attempt to learn how to utilize this software. So in this video, I'm going to take you from first firing up the application all the way through everything you need to be a master of ThinkorSwim. I've been using this software now for over 8 years. I know more about it than anybody else on YouTube. That's not a slight. I've seen a lot of the tutorial videos. They're good videos, but I have some tips and tricks that I'm going to teach you today that I've never seen anyone else post. So let's go. And one of those secret tips starts at the very beginning of this tutorial. This is your login modal. This is the little screen you will see pop up when you first download ThinkorSwim and open the application. You will log in with your ID and password that you set up with Charles Schwab. However, before logging in, I want you to click on this little cog here in the bottom left. In this settings page, you will see these memory usage drop downs. These are the min and max values of the random access memory this application is allowed to use from your machine. And they are set by default, I believe, to like the lowest available numbers. Now you want to adjust these min and max values to be way higher. This is going to allow your ThinkorSwim to run much more smoothly. What you're going to do is you're going to raise the min value, raise the max value, log into ThinkorSwim. When you do that, hit Control-Shift-Escape or however you bring up the task manager on your hardware and check the task manager. Just ensure that when your ThinkorSwim is running, you are at about 60% memory usage. You don't want to go too high. If you start to use too much memory, your computer can start acting all funky, but you also don't want to be too low. You want ThinkorSwim to be using as much of that RAM as possible so that it can run as smoothly as possible. These numbers will be different for everybody. I have 64 gigabytes of RAM in my machine, which is a lot. So I have pretty high numbers here, but however your machine is set up, and you don't even really need to know. Like I said, just up the numbers, run your task manager, look at your memory usage. If it's too low, raise the numbers. Obviously, if it's too high, lower the numbers. Do that 3 or 4 times until you find what works for you. Once you are logged into the application, you will see your home screen. I have logged into my simulated trading side of my ThinkorSwim account so that I could reset everything to default. So everything that I'm looking at should look just like yours does. Now, the next secret tip I will teach you about ThinkorSwim is that they don't by default set you up with real-time data. And if you want to be an active trader within this platform, you're going to want to utilize real-time data. To set that up, you're going to come to the setup here in the top right, application settings, and under system, make sure you change this quote speed from moderate, which is set up with a max delay of 3 seconds, down, of course, to real time, no delay, and apply those settings. You will now be seeing real time ticker data. Now, of course, you want to see that ticker data. So go ahead and click onto the charts tab here, and this box here at the top left of your chart is where you're going to enter the stock symbol you would like to see the data of. So if I type in NVDA, we are now looking at the NVIDIA daily chart. Now, the first major section of this video is going to be chart appearance, because quite honestly, this is ugly. Chart appearance is, of course, subjective. There's no right way to do this. However, I'll get you set up with how I have mine look, and I'll go through the settings so you can, of course, adjust it for however you would like your charts to look. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this little arrow here on this left-hand drawer just to kind of get that out of our way, give us more real estate for the chart itself. Next, I'm going to click on the settings cog on the chart and this will open up our chart settings where we can begin to change some appearance things. First, I'm going to check this show trades box. This will show your orders on your chart. Then actually on this NVIDIA in my simulated trading, if I hit apply here, there should already be some trades from past tutorials that I've done. Indeed, there they are. So this is what your show trades look like. Of course, if you would like to see your trade history on your chart, turn on the show trades checkbox there. On this first screen, I also turn off the show high-low bubbles. These bubbles here denoting the highest price and the lowest price of the selected time frame. I just almost never care, and they do more getting in my way than they do help me. Once again, all this is subjective. If you want to see them, don't turn them off, of course. Now, let's go ahead and hop over to the price axis subtab here. And in here, I simply uncheck all of the fits. This just, like what these fits are doing is that they will adjust the zoom on your chart in order to make, your drawing studies, orders, and that kind of stuff fit onto the screen. I would rather just have control myself of the zoom on my chart than have it automatically be zoomed around to fit things. So once again, subjective, do what you want, but I uncheck all these boxes. Next, over to the time axis subtab. The most important thing here is that I give a little bit of expansion area on the right side of my chart. I don't like when the last bar on the chart here sort of rams into the side. So I'm going to give an expansion area of 5 bars to the right. If I hit apply, you see what that does. It just sort of gives a little breathing space over there on the side. I just like how this looks. Next, I also turn off all of these lines, your rollover lines, expiration Friday, year marking lines. Notice these sort of lines on the chart. As I hit apply, a lot of those lines go away. Once again, obviously subjective, but just cleans up the chart a little bit in my eyes. Favorite time frames, we're going to skip for right now. The next section we'll cover is time frames, and we'll come back to this. For now, let's hop on over to appearance. I'm going to fill my green candles. I really don't like my green candles being empty. I think it looks disgusting. So check the fill up. Now your green candles will also, of course, be filled. Down here, I'm going to color my volume as the symbol ticks. So instead of just these blue bars, now if it's a red candle, volume candle will be red. Obviously, green candle, volume candle will be green. Also, I'm going to uncheck the grid. That's just going to get rid of the rest of your background lines here to once again further clean up the chart. As I hit apply, the chart is starting to look way better now. And the last tab we'll look at in these chart settings for now is the equities tab. First, I'm going to turn off the show corporate actions. While I'm doing my charting, I don't really care to see when they reported earnings, what their EPS was, when they paid dividends, all that sort of stuff. Once again, when I'm doing my charting, I just want my chart to be as clean as possible. So uncheck show corporate actions, and also make a note of, we're not going to take an action on it right now, but just make note of in this chart settings modal, under the equities tab, this is where you can decide whether you want to show or not show extended trading hours. Just keep note of that if we go over time frames next. So as I hit apply, you'll just notice the corporate actions go away. And as we sort of come out to the chart now, look at how much cleaner this chart is and ready for analysis. Now I told you the next thing we're going to talk about is time frames. So let's talk time frames. Right now, we are looking at the daily chart of NVIDIA, meaning every single one of these candles represents a full trading day. Now, how do we know that's the chart we're looking at? Because of this D symbol right here at the top of your chart, of course, representing daily. As you click on this, you will have a list of favorite time frames that you can click through. And there is also a time frame sub-tab here that will allow you to create your own time frame to look at. So if I come to my favorites here and I click into the 1M1D, what the 1D represents on this, of course, the 1M, you could probably guess, represents 1 minute. What the 1D represents is the time interval, meaning we are looking at a day's worth of candles here, and each candle represents 1 minute of price action. So, for example, the 5D5M time frame here means that we are going to be looking at the 5-minute chart over an interval of the last 5 days. So the entire chart is the last 5 trading days. Each one of these candles represents 5 minutes of price action. ThinkorSwim is kind of funny with its max time intervals, meaning if I come back into the time frame selector here and hop into the time frame subtab, if I'm looking at an aggregation period of 5 minutes, once again meaning every candle represents 5 minutes of price action, the highest time interval I can set that to is 180 days. I can only look at 180 days worth of 5-minute candles. If I attempted to set this to higher, say 360 days, you would notice it kicks up my aggregation period. So the max time interval for 5-minute chart is 180 days. If I come back down to 30 days, this is the max time interval for a 1-minute chart. You can actually see that as the sort of slider here now hops all the way back over to the left for 30 days. Once again, if I tried to go larger than 30 days, it would auto kick up my aggregation period. So 1 minute, 30 day is your max time. 5 minute, 180 day is your max time. Once you start getting up to like an hour and stuff, I think an hour you can look at the full 360 days. Yeah. Then if you hop on over into this daily, now you can start to set on your aggregation period being day. Now you can start to set all the way to max available. This means you can see every single day worth of data that the ticker has traded. So if I click this on Nvidia here, you will see I can go all the way back to 1999, which must have been when Nvidia started publicly trading. Now, you can change this favorites list of your time frames. For example, the 1-day time aggregation is set by default as its favorite to the 1-year interval. I would rather see this max available interval on my daily aggregation. All I need to do on this time frame that I have created is click on this star down here in the bottom left. Now back into my favorites. Well, I have to come off of this. If I were to go to another time frame, my daily favorite is now set to the maximum time interval. We sort of skipped ahead a little bit talking about time intervals. I got to cover one more very important thing on your chart appearance, and that is saving your appearance so that when you possibly create new charts in the future, if they don't auto-load this style, you can easily import it rather than having to go back in and manually change all the settings. So go to this style tab here on your chart and go obviously to save style. Name it whatever you would like to. I'm going to name mine subscribe to the channel. I don't know why, just something that popped into my head, wink, wink. If I hit save, now, next time I were to create a chart, let me hop over into this flexible grid here, which we'll talk about later, but now see how when I create a chart, it's back to that sort of ugly default. Instead of having to go fix all of this, I can come into my styles, load styles, subscribe to the channel, bada bing, bada boom. Next, let's talk studies. Now you have the chart appearance looking the way you would like it to, but perhaps there are other things you want to see on your chart. Let's say you're a moving average crossover trader. You like to buy when the 50-length moving average crosses above the 200-length simple moving average. So you need those two studies turned on your chart. In order to find the studies that are available out of the box within ThinkorSwim, of which there are hundreds, you're going to click on the Studies tab here, Edit Studies, and you're going to get this modal in which you have a search box. So I'm going to look up simple moving average, and it is called the simple moving AVG here. I'm going to double click to add it to my chart, double click again, because we of course want to add two simple moving averages so we can see our crossovers. Now, of course, we need to make sure we set them to the 50 length and the 200 length. In order to do that, I'm going to click on the settings cog of the simple moving average study, and one of the parameters, of course, is length. I'll change this first one to 50, and then obviously we'll change the second one to 200. Now, we also want to make sure this second one is a different color. So click on this color box down here, select obviously whatever color you would like. Now, as I apply this, you will see in the background a 50 length and a 200 length simple moving average plotted on our NVIDIA daily chart. Back into our edit studies modal, you'll notice both of those simple moving average studies went into this price section. This means that they overlay with the candles of the ticker. However, not every study does this. If I wanted to look at the relative strength index, or RSI, as I double click at this, you'll notice it by default drops down to this lower section. This means that the RSI indicator will be plotted below both our price and volume graphs. As I hit apply on this, you now see the RSI plotting down here. I'm going to go ahead and turn on another lower study, being MACD, just so you can see now how this is set up as lower, and then there is now another lower section. This means that it will show up in its own section, once again, below the other graphs. You can reorder these by simply dragging and dropping. You can even overlay them. Now the MACD and RSI are both in one lower section here. They are both showing on the same graph. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but if there are studies that you wanted to overlay, that is also possible. I just wanted to show you the lower subsection and the dragability of your studies to make your charts look how you would like. Now, ThinkorSwim has over 300 studies available out of the box that come with the application. However, where you begin to really, truly unlock the power of this free platform is by building custom studies. Everything you're seeing on your chart right now, be it the custom studies, the custom strategy, showing the buy and sell orders on the chart, and this custom scanner over here, I have built myself. It's what we do on this channel. It's the niche that this channel covers, is building custom ThinkorSwim code. So if you're interested in this, obviously make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And if you're interested in accessing any of the codes that I have already built, I have published over 80 of them over on my website, daytradingstrategies.net. Click into our codes here, click on the ThinkorSwim logo behind my head, and in here you can access, once again, over 80, be it strategies, scanners, studies. You can copy my workspaces, etc., etc. And they are all extremely easy to import into your ThinkorSwim. Every single one of my codes comes with one of these share links. All you need to do, copy this URL. Back within your ThinkorSwim application, you're going to go to Setup in the top right. You are going to go to Open Shared Item. Then you are going to paste that URL, preview, and import. Just like we turned on the studies now in the tutorial, being the simple moving averages and the RSI, now you're going to hop into your edit studies modal, and I just imported a study. If you imported a strategy, you would of course click into here, but I just imported a study. All of my studies I prefix with DTS. So you look up DTS, you look up the study you imported, you add it to your chart the same way we did earlier. Now you have that custom code running on your ThinkorSwim chart. Having access to these codes is just going to give you a massive head start on your ThinkorSwim trading journey. And you're going to get access to all 80 plus ThinkorSwim codes for one low price. I don't sell the codes individually or anything like that. When you sign up, you're going to get access to everything. So daytradingstrategies.net, once again, linked in the description of this video down below. Go check out the website, read the reviews, look at the price, see if it's something you may be interested in. Sign up today and become a better trader. So now you know how studies work and how to show them on your chart. One quick tip, click on studies up here in the top right, remove all studies, yes, get rid of all the studies. Now let's talk about drawings, because you may want to do some manual analysis while looking at your studies. So there is of course a drawings tab here, hover over drawing tools, and there is a massive list of different tools that you can utilize to draw on your ThinkorSwim charts. Let's start with a trend line. Click in one area you would like the trend line to start, click in a second area you would like it to end, and of course, your trend line will be drawn. Otherwise, we can come in, go to Drawings tool. There is also a price level. With the price level, you simply double click and the price level is drawn. Now you'll notice both of my lines look different, and they probably look different than the lines that you drew on your chart. You can change the way your drawings look by right-clicking on a drawing and going into Edit Properties. This is where you can turn on or off the left and right extension. You can change the color, you can change the style, the width, etc. Then, if you want to just change this line specifically, you would obviously just hit OK and the line would change. However, if you want the line to be something different every single time you draw this drawing type, you save it as default. Now, every time I draw a price level, it is this huge, thick, white line on my screen. Of course, I would have to come in and edit the properties of the trend line as well. As you can see, the trend line is still this more thin purple line, but that's how you change how your drawings look. So you've got your chart appearance, you've got your studies, you've got your drawings. You can pretty much do any analysis of stocks you would like to do within ThinkorSwim. Now, let's hop into something fun and let's begin to talk trade execution. First, let's get rid of all these lines. You can right-click on any drawing, clear drawing set. Yes, bye-bye lines. Now let's talk execution. I personally love the trade execution side of this ThinkorSwim platform. It is flawless, it is seamless, it is very easy and intuitive to understand. All you're going to do is you're going to click on this Active Trader tab in this little right-hand side column on your chart. That is, of course, going to pop up the Active Trader in which you're going to have your execution information. By default, you have buy market and you have sell market buttons. Now, depending on the types of stocks you trade and your trade strategy, you may not want to place market orders. Maybe you want to place limit orders. Don't worry, these buttons can be very easily changed. Within your active trader, click on this settings cog here, and this gives you the list of available items alongside your current set. So if you didn't want to use buy market and sell market, you would of course remove them from your current set. Then you can go in and you could set up either buy ask or buy bid. You can set up both, you can set up one, you can set up the other. However, this is all fully customizable. Let's say for right now, I want to buy the bid and I want to sell the ask. That's the kind of trader I am, so I have added those two buttons. However, you see they've been added sort of down here at the bottom, at the second line and at the bottom of the list. I want them back up here at the first line at the top of the list, so they appear right where these buy market and sell market buttons are now. Don't worry, just like a lot of other things in ThinkorSwim, these buttons are easily draggable within this list, so drag them to the top. As I hit OK, you will notice the buy market and sell market have changed now, of course, to our buy bid and sell ask buttons. Of course, you noticed in your settings cog that there was a second line. You show that second line by clicking on this drop down arrow here. And of course, by default, the way it's set up, once again, you can feel free to change the order of these buttons, add or remove other buttons. But by default, this is how you, of course, change your quantity, the number of shares you would like to buy or sell. And very importantly, you have this auto send box here. If I were to click buy bid right now with the auto send uncheck, I'm going to get this confirmation dialog, then I can send the order. If I were to have auto send check and I hit buy bid, now you can see the order just goes straight through without that confirmation dialog. You can see, actually, let's talk now about the order. You can see the order showing on your chart here at the current price of NVIDIA. The market's closed. I'm making this on a Sunday, vis-a-vis why I'm wearing the NFL jersey. Go Commanders. But anyway, you can see it sitting out there at the current price of the close of NVIDIA on the chart. I could hit X here and that would cancel this order. Also, I can drag this order. So say I want it to be up and say I want it to be actually down. It's a limit order. If it breaks below 140, I want to buy NVIDIA. So I just dragged the order down to below 140. Also, you noticed on your active trade sort of ladder here, you could see the order. I'm going to zoom out on the ladder and you can see the order placed here in your buy orders button here as well. And you can also click the X from here to also cancel that order. One button you should probably have added in your active trade window objectively. Most of these are subjective. You can set this up how you would like, but you probably want this TIF showing on your active trade platform. Now, I guess if you're a day trader, you want this TIF showing, because if you're going to trade pre-market trading with Charles Schwab starts at 7 a.m. So that's when you can start trading, at 7 a.m. And you can trade all the way until 8 p.m. Of course, I'm going off Eastern Standard Time. That's market time. That's the time zone I'm talking about. But you can trade those extended hours in Charles Schwab. In order to place orders, I guess that's how you say that, during those times outside of normal market hours, your time in force must be set to extended. So if you're on an intraday chart and you're trading outside of normal market hours, as showcased by these gray boxes here, you will need to be trading using extended time in force. Now here comes one more of those sort of secret tips that I don't see a lot of people making videos about, and that is this template drop down here. Of course, you know that you can buy stocks and you can sell stocks, and that's what you do with the single template. However, you can also set up orders so that you can buy a stock and have an active profit target and stop loss open at the same time. If you use a single order type, once you are in a position, you can only either then have a profit take order or a stop loss order. It won't let you have both open at the same time for these shares because you open them as a single template. What you're going to do instead is you're going to do one of these target with bracket orders. And honestly, this part doesn't even matter, like where you set up the brackets in these numbers, who cares? Because as I showed you earlier, once you set the order, now imagine the market's open and I actually get filled here, you can drag this stop and this profit order to wherever you would like. Just a very helpful tip if you're going to have stop and take profit levels on your trades, which for most cases you should. Now, I showed you earlier how you could cancel an order by hitting the X on the order. There's also a cancel button. Now, what I do personally in my own ThinkorSwims, I get rid of this sort of cancel ... button, and I slide in instead a cancel all button there. That way, with one click, all the orders are canceled at once. You can also use the active trader ladder to place your order. Say, I want to buy if we break below 141. So in this bid size square here, I can click and it'll place an order at the price I clicked at. I now have a limit order sitting at 140.99. Also, I could do the same to place a buy stop order. Say I want to buy, let me zoom in back in here. I want to buy if and only if we break back above 145. If I click here, since I'm clicking above the current price, I have now placed a buy stop order. That means this order will not trigger until the price is trading at the price I set the order, at which time it will be executed like a market order. You can do the same thing for stops. I can't exactly show you right now. I'm sorry. I should do this when the market's open, but just in your head here, envision that I am in a position. I could then come in and if I wanted to stop below 141, if I wanted to stop below 144, let's go down to, I could then set my sell 100. Oh, it will still let me set a stop. Oh, no, it won't. It won't let me set a stop. Anyway, if I were in a position and I clicked that 143.99 on this ask size, it would then set out my stop loss order at that price. Well, y'all, that's really what you need to know about ThinkorSwim. You've got your chart set up and looking good. You understand how to turn on studies, how to perform drawings, and you understand the basics and even some advanced stuff about trade execution. Now, there is a ton more with this application. Actually, a very important screen that you should probably understand and know where it is this monitor tab. Now, since the market's closed right now, I can't show you too much of this, but this is where you will see your P&L on the day, your open orders, your orders that have been filled on the day. In fact, here are the orders I have canceled during this demo so that you can have an idea of what it looks like. Also, you will need to understand this scan tab. You will need to understand how to find the types of stocks you want to trade. And the fact that all of that is built within ThinkorSwim makes this free platform even more powerful. However, if I had to guess, I have published over 20 videos on this channel already on ThinkorSwim scanners. So there's no need for me to delve into this information on a beginner level video like this. If you want to learn about ThinkorSwim scans, if you want some free examples of scans, just look up ThinkorSwim scans on my YouTube channel. You will find plenty of content. Then, of course, remember, if you would like to get a massive head start on your ThinkorSwim trading journey, head on over to my website, daytradingstrategies.net, linked in the description down below. If you want to go crazy and learn how to code yourself, of course, I have created a course that will teach you everything I know about coding in ThinkorSwim. Or if you would just like to access the over 80 published ThinkorSwim strategies, scanners, studies, etc. that I've already published, click on our codes, get signed up, become a better trader today. Please like the video if you learned something, subscribe if you would like to continue learning. And with all that being said, I'll catch you all in the next one.